On this week's episode of the AfterTaste Movie Podcast, we're talking about Peyton Reed coming back to direct the Ant-Man 3, which was just recently announced. Will it come out theatrically? Will it come out on Disney+? We'll talk about that. Also, we have an official release date for Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, the sequel, and we'll let you know they have a new director as well. And we're also talking about the newest trailer for the remake of the remake of the remake of The Grudge. And, maybe people still care about it, so we'll talk about it a little bit. Thank you so much for listening, and hey everyone, and happy Monday, and welcome into this episode of the AfterTaste Movie Podcast on the Maybe It's a Network. And we are joined today again by Chelsea Rodriguez. Chelsea, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. How was your day?
It was good. It was
It's Sunday while we do this.
Sunday.
Obviously said it was Monday because this comes out tomorrow.
Yeah. It's good.
Good. All right. Wonderful. Nice talk. Hey, Kaylee. Kaylee Russell's on the show today. How you doing?
Hey, Brian.
I asked you a question. How you doing?
Doing okay.
You doing good? How was your day today?
Uneventful.
Uneventful. I heard you got to sleep in until like 1 today.
Yeah, it was needed.
That was fun. That's the dream. You know, our clocks just went back, right?
Fall back. Yeah.
Fall back, yeah. And for most people, that means that they get an extra hour of sleep. But for me, that was just an extra hour of insomnia that I had to stay up. It was a real bummer. Yeah. How was your Halloween, Chelsea? Did you do anything fun?
It was fun. It was interesting because I had heard through the grapevine that apparently I had a house party, Halloween party that I wasn't there for, but I heard it was nice.
I'm sure they had fun.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty cool. But no, it was good. For the first couple hours, went trick-or-treating with my niece and nephew, and then we went to a interactive haunted house.
Interactive? What is that?
So pretty
that means
much,
you get a knife too, or
no, meaning if with some the I guess you can say actors in the costumes, they get to like directly like interact with you. So there was one instance
like
where
physically.
Because it was like we had a group pass. One of our, we'll say, members that were in our group, because there was about 12 of us. One of them got kidnapped by one of.
That sounds like against the law.
It was crazy.
Did you have to sign like a waiver when you went in there?
Yeah. It was all good. It was fun. And then we got lost in like a corn maze for like 10 minutes.
That sounds like an awful corn maze. That was like you were in there for more than 10 minutes, or you got all the way through the corn maze in 10 minutes?
We were in the corn maze, and then about like the last 20 minutes, then all of a sudden we were just lost.
You lost forever?
Yeah, because it was dark by that point.
Corn maze did its job then.
Yeah.
I'm too scared to go in one of those type of houses, like haunted houses, because I for sure am a swinger. And not in that weird way that my wife wouldn't appreciate. Just in the way where I would definitely punch somebody.
Yeah.
And I'd get in trouble.
Fight or flight, right?
It's fight or flight,
yeah. It's like, I'm going to sock you.
I'm going to punch you in the goddamn face. Kaylee, how was your Halloween? You watched Terminator, right?
I did watch Terminator, the new Terminator.
The new Terminator, Dark Fate.
Dark Fate.
How was that?
I really enjoyed it.
You really enjoyed it?
I'd watch
I
it
hear
again.
Mackenzie Davis is really good.
Yeah.
How was good old Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger? They were back, right?
Yeah. It was good to see Linda on the big screen again. And Arnold was funny, as usual.
That sounds about like his character type these days. I hear that Linda Hamilton says the F word a lot of times. Does she?
Yeah. In
Really
many
intense.
different ways.
Wow.
But,
what do you mean? Like different inflections or different like?
Well, and she uses the F word in different
Context?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, switches it up.
It's a very, very versatile word. That's for damn sure.
I think it just needed Linda Hamilton to be back cussing and all that.
And it's really kind of disappointing. I was looking at the box office numbers, and it only made like 29 million or something like that. But it was widely appreciated. People liked it a lot. It had a really good critic score. It had a really good audience score. What is it? Is it like franchise fatigue or something?
Maybe the last one was not that great.
Yeah, a lot of people might have been scared off by Genesis, spelt with a Y. That movie. But it's just strange. I've said it before, but I think like 4 or 5 movies a year is like the average for a person in the United States. Mm-hmm. Everybody has their thing, though, right? They got 3 Marvels, they got Star Wars, or 2 a year. With these franchises, maybe they just can't keep coming out with like 10 Godzillas and 10 Terminators or something like that.
I think
It's
maybe
really
because like the
unfortunate.
time of the season as well, because it's like we're in November and we're kind of like getting into like that Oscar season somewhat. So it's like like a few little blockbusters here and there.
Yeah, more and more, it's kind of looking like the studios know that they've broken the mold of what it used to be for the movie seasons. They barely exist anymore. Like when Black Panther came out in like February, that used to be the dumping month, and then it became huge.
Yeah.
March had Captain Marvel came out, and made $1.3 billion. Like, it's weird to say, but Terminator only making $28 million is a bummer, because I hear it was really, really good.
I think it's one of those franchises where, because I grew up with them, like Terminator 2, I think is one of the best films ever done.
For sure.
A lot of people didn't grow up with the franchise.
That's true.
So it's definitely for like the older people who have followed the franchise. Though I would say with watching this one, you don't even need to watch anything after 1 or 2.
Oh yeah, they made it very clear to make their fans happy that they've retconned just about everything, just like they did with Halloween.
I was just about to
last
say,
year.
they pulled a Halloween.
They were like, "Wow, we know that Rob Zombie made some movies, and that people weren't very happy with these Halloween H2O and these type of films.
Yeah.
So let's just pretend they didn't happen." But 20 million, it made like 120 something worldwide, which I imagine for Terminator's budget, it was probably 150 to 200 million to make. And then such a big franchise had such a big marketing push. I saw Terminator crap everywhere. So it probably needs to make 400 million to be profitable. Do you think it'll get there?
I don't know. I would like it to.
And we have like Doctor Sleep coming out next week, right?
Yeah.
And like there's like 4 wide movies. And then the further you get, it's like Frozen's at the end of the month. It needs to like hold on really well. But rated R action movies, unless you're Joker, I guess, they just can't hold on for more than a week or two. So what do you do?
Yeah.
Anyway, this isn't part of the show. This was just a fun conversation about Terminator. Anything else about Terminator that was super cool? How were the Terminator people, like the metallic-y things?
They were creepy. The villain was creepy. So they did a good job at doing that, and it definitely sends the message of women are the future type thing, which could also be another thing is, those trolls that don't,
Yeah.
I don't even have to explain it.
The Captain Marvel trolls.
The trolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I mean, Kevin Feige, it wasn't Kevin Feige, what am I talking about? It was Bob Iger. Robert Iger of the Disney company came out and said that the future of the Disney films are female-led. They aren't going back. It has been for this trilogy, but they think that, talking about Captain Marvel, good old Brie Larson, your wife.
Yeah, my wife, yeah.
Yeah, she's in talks probably to play a major role in Star Wars canon going forward, and it just kind of seems like more and more female-led things are coming out, and that's real cool, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did that with the new Halloween movie, was, Jamie Lee Curtis and everything. It was definitely very, strong
Female-led.
kick butt type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for Star Wars and stuff to come out. But anyway, let's get over this Terminator talk because I haven't seen it yet and I really want to see it. But let's go back to that nerdy crap that we all talk about all the time. So it's been confirmed through Collider.com that Marvel is bringing back Peyton Reed to direct Ant-Man 3. The cast has not been confirmed yet, but it is assumed that majority will reprise their roles. It hasn't been announced when it actually is coming out, but it's expected to shoot next year or early 2021. So it's going to come out between like Doctor Strange, like right after Thor 4, Love and Thunder. So it should be good. Chelsea, do you like the Ant-Man franchise?
I do.
I know that we had a Marvel show a couple weeks back, and we talked a lot about Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah.
Do you find it to be that mid to lower tier Marvel character that some people do, or do you think he's right up there when it comes to popularity?
I think it's kind of hard to say because I think just going off my opinion alone, like I love Paul Rudd, and I think that was absolutely perfect casting to cast him as Scott Lang. So I want to say in a lot of ways he is kind of like above like a mid-tier type of character because I feel like going back to like Civil War or even Endgame, it's like he has like these like little pockets of moments like where he really gets to shine.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of elevates him, because for like I think most people are like, oh yeah, Ant-Man, he's a thing, but then he'll like get something to do something like really really cool, and then be like, oh wow, that's like his power set is like really nifty. If you think about it.
It's really really cool because any movie he's in, he does have his moment that's really in your face. He gets giants. He's punching big old things in the end of Endgame. Oh, excuse me, I gotta cut that out. Some could see that though as kind of the color commentary of a film, though. Kaylee, Ant-Man series, do you think that has a future of making more money? Ant-Man in general wasn't one of the big money makers. It was in the bottom 2 or 3 for both films. Do you think that Ant-Man 3 is warranted?
Yeah, I mean, he did start out pretty low because I didn't know anything about him. And I feel like the more he's interacted with other characters, the more people have gotten to know who he is. And I think after, Endgame, he's going to be even bigger now because he did have a big comedic part in that.
Yeah.
So I think it'll do pretty well.
Was the first part of your statement a pun about being so low, or
No.
Ant size. All right, then he got giant. I really am a big fan of Peyton Reed. He came in and directed after Edgar Wright laid the ground for the first film, but you could really see his direction in Ant-Man and the Wasp, with his slow motion, with his direction of action. Are you happy that he's back on, or did you kind of want to see somebody else?
No, I'm very happy. When discussing within the inner circle of people about the Ant-Man franchise, I think what I really enjoy about those movies is they're very fun, inventive heist films, and
yes.
I really enjoy them. It's not like you have to I don't know what to say, but they're enjoyable. I really really enjoy them. I think probably one of my favorite. I guess he's kind of in the minor character, but we'll say older characters. I love Michael Douglas as Hank Pym. He's so jaded, and I love him.
And Michelle Pfeiffer. Kaylee, you like Michelle Pfeiffer?
I do.
Right? She's hot, right?
Yeah, I like older women in general. Yeah.
That's good. Good on you there. Kaylee, did you like the characters that they brought into the universe in Ant-Man and the Wasp? We had Ghost and Goliath, who was not Lawrence Fishburne.
It is Lawrence Fishburne.
I know. Okay.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the few people that I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp more than the first Ant-Man movie.
I'm actually right there with you.
Okay.
I love the heck out of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
And I'm a huge fan of Ghost, especially the actress, because I knew her from the show Killjoys, and so it was good to see her in a movie and her getting to be known.
Yeah, and I really missed her. I wanted her to come back immediately after, but I knew that her character was going to be that of we'll see her in the next movie. She's not going to be a huge part of the MCU or anything like that. But her character design and her character in general, just the tragicness of her character built in with her design and her action, super cool. And then Lawrence Fishburne. I mean, it's cool to see that guy. I want to see him get big, though.
I know.
I want to see him go full Goliath. I don't know if we'll ever see that, but Ant-Man 3. Right? Maybe. We'll see. But I have heard some rumors throughout the grapevine on, interwebs and other places and people that I've talked to that they might take this in a direction that is different than normal. With all these streaming TV shows coming out in the next few years, you got not the Doctor Strange, that's literally the movie.
Oh, yeah, that they were going to put on Disney+.
Yeah. So all these TV shows coming out, you got the freaking Sam and Bucky, you got
Moon Knight.
I forgot that was coming out. That's so cool. And then you see Star Wars doing the same type of thing. Do you think it would be a huge waste, or do you think it'd be beneficial to put Ant-Man 3 on Disney Plus exclusively?
I think for this sake, because they're doing such a great job marketing what they're going to create with this platform with their huge catalog. As much as I would like to see the third Ant-Man in the theaters, I know realistically they don't make the biggest amount of bucks.
There's a lot of pros and cons, specifically with Ant-Man.
But I feel because there's already so many Marvel shows going to be on it, I think it's a good call. Yeah, I think I'm for it.
Are you pro Disney Plus or pro theatrical release? I'm trying to figure out.
I'm going to say pro Disney Plus.
Pro Disney Plus. Kaylee, do you think it could bring success? Because I know that Netflix, they dump millions and hundreds of $1 million into their shows, and we don't know how they recoup that money, basically, because they don't release their analytics or box office or anything like that. But when you see Ant-Man coming out and it's being made for, I mean, it's like 80 to 100. It's a lower tier Marvel film for sure. Do you think it could be worth the risk putting on a specifically just Disney Plus?
I don't know. I think it's kind of smart because they're, it's going to get people to pay for Disney Plus more. I mean, I of course would love to see it on the big screen too, and those older people who don't know how the internets and streaming services work are going to be, if they like Marvel, are going to be wondering, maybe that'll get them into getting Disney Plus too.
Yeah. There's so many pros and cons. I think ultimately it would be a good idea for Disney to do that, just due to the fact that it's not going to bring in your $800 million. It's not going to do that for you. But you have a built-in audience with these Marvel TV shows coming out. And if you release it only on your streaming service, people are going to watch the heck out of it because it is a heist type of film. It's a comedy. It's a very individualistic styled film. Thanks, Kaylee. You could talk. I told you I shouldn't drink these caffeines before I'm talking on the radio. But I think it could do well, and I think that's a good idea for it to do that. So.
Yeah.
I think it's cool to see all those scenes, though, like the getting small, the getting big, the slow motion, all the action scenes are really cool to see on the big screen.
Maybe they'll release it on Disney Plus and then eventually put it in select theaters.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not sure it'll be going for Oscars, but it's true. They'll probably have some sort of special release, or they could do something like a double feature during the year where it's like, Thor is coming out, but you could see a special screening of Ant-Man before the show or something like that, which they're known to do stuff like that. That's how Black Panther went over. That's how Endgame went over the record. Basically, is because they were like, okay, we're putting this back in with a double feature just to make some money, basically. Yeah. But they could do the same thing with Ant-Man and the Wasp, so they can actually make some money. Anyway, let's move on to something else. Let's comic books still. What is this show? We don't talk about real movies. We talk about Marvel and stuff like that. But not this one. It's not the MCU. It's Sony's Marvel Universe. So it says the sequel of the 2018 Oscar Award-winning animated film Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse has a official release date via Chris Miller and everyone else, I guess, on the movie of April 8th, 2022. Looks like they're coming back, but we're getting a new director, Joaquim Dos Santos, who worked on the Avatar Last Airbender animated series. So breathe.
Okay.
It's not the other one. Okay. Not the other one. And then you also have writer David Callum, who worked on Wonder Woman 84. We don't know how that's going to work out yet, but it'll probably be good enough. And Zombieland, which is dope. That's like one of my favorite movies ever. Before we get that, though, we're getting the Spider-Gwen movie coming out in a couple years. Mm-hmm. And it looks like this film is going to be, not the Spider-Gwen film, but Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2. Will center around a love storyline between Gwen and Miles Morales. So we'll see how that goes. But do you think 4 years is too much to wait for a sequel for this movie?
For this movie in particular, no. Considering how much time and effort they put into it, even though I do very much would like to see a sequel, like, kind of quickly, I really don't want them to rush it, like, in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I feel like at least Spider-Gwen, I'm excited for Spider-Gwen. Yeah. That'll be really cool. And, I mean, it'll hold me over, for sure, for the next movie. Kaylee, you really liked Spider-Verse, didn't you?
I did. I wasn't sure at first, but, yeah, I ended up really liking it. I thought the animation was really...
Yeah, you can really see why it took them. It's going to take them 4 years to get it right.
And the soundtrack was really good,
too. The soundtrack was great. Everything about that movie was direct comic book from page to screen, and it was perfect. That being said, though, do you think a love storyline fits a comic-style movie like that?
Well, if we're going with the context, like straight from the comics, it makes sense because in the comics they are a couple, and that is like one of my favorite like storylines because they have a very genuinely sweet romance. So I'm definitely for it.
You're for it.
Yeah.
Kaylee, you down to see some love?
Sure. I don't mind.
Yep. Even though it's like heterosexual.
Yeah, I'm here for the heteros sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
It's an interracial though.
Yeah, no, I'm totally for that. It's cute. On Halloween I saw a little girl walking down the street in a Spider Gwen costume, and I was like, that's cute because you want to think this movie made such a big impact so quickly on little kids, but
Yeah. I was trying to make a question for you, Kaylee, about you shipping her with somebody, but there's nobody else in Spider-Verse.
Not yet.
There's nobody else in Spider-Verse that's a female-driven character except for her.
No, I think they'll do a good job. I
Yeah.
don't mind it.
Are you at all concerned that they're changing directors? Because it looks like Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Or I messed up their names. One person has a last name and a first name.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot to say. They're basically showrunners, though. They're not exactly directing the film. And I don't remember who directed the first film. I actually think it was somebody who wasn't as widely renowned. And I still don't know them, which is really disappointing.
He directed the Rise of the Guardians, the DreamWorks movie that came out like 7 years ago. Okay. And I dug that movie, that premise.
That's good.
I don't know anything about this new director, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, have you watched the Avatar Last Airbender series?
I love that series.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the best series, like, ever, really. Did you watch the Korra one when
I tried really hard. I got to, like, the first half of season 2, and I was just like, and it wasn't for me. It was,
Kaylee, did you like Korra?
I still need to really watch it. I think I watched the first few episodes, but I am definitely behind the Korra and Asami ship
Thingy.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. Like, I loved The Last Airbender, but I didn't really have a strong urge to go out and watch Korra.
I still need to finish Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, man, it's really good. You should watch it.
Fantastic.
But it is a little concerning for me switching up directors in a film like this, which is so strongly directed. Specifically, I mean, Last Airbender had its action and stuff, but it wasn't necessarily comic book style to me. And I mean, I guess the writer would have more to do with that, and the Zombieland guy, that's kind of like a comic book-esque type of zombie film, right? They have those pull-out moments where they're like, "Oh, kill of the day goes to this." That's very comic book.
Was it the same person for Zombieland 2 or just Zombieland 1?
Well, it's Zombieland. The first one also did that, though.
Yeah,
they were running gags. I honestly don't remember who directed the first Zombieland.
The first one?
Yeah,
wasn't it Ruben Fletcher?
It was definitely Ruben Fletcher. He did them both.
Okay.
My bad.
I still haven't seen the second one, so I'm just going for memory.
But ultimately, I think Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse, that movie came out and it was so revolutionary. It took out Disney for an Oscar. That doesn't happen with an animated film. And I think it's just going to keep going in this franchise. It did so well that it almost pulled Tom Holland from us. Like, that and Venom, obviously. But, I mean, they have this whole thing now, and it scares me because I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I don't want to lose him again. I already lost him once this year. That's too much for us. But I think we're going to move on for the Spider-Verse conversation here. And a new trailer dropped. Horror film called The Grudge. Anybody hear of The Grudge? Were you a big fan of the first Grudge?
The American or the Japanese?
That's a good question. How about you answer both of those questions?
I really like the original Japanese version. It's been a very, very long time, but it still holds up to me. The American ones, they have problems, but I like Sarah Michelle Gellar as like the lead, and I was kind of bummed when they, like killed her off in the second one.
Oh, spoilers!
Oh
man, that was like 2006. That's
get on that, people.
Yeah, I enjoyed the original, Eastern version of it. I did not enjoy the first one at all. It might have been because I'm a wimp and I don't do scary movies, and I was younger at the time, so I wasn't even like. It could be that, or I just didn't. I mean, I was scared. It scared me for sure. That sound is still in my head, like whatever it is.
Yeah,
like,
that croaking. Yeah,
it's like still there. It's so iconic almost that Just stop making them, though. Okay, just stop. Kaylee, were you a big fan of the original version and the original Western version?
I saw the American remake first, and I was a huge Sarah Michelle Gellar fan too because of Buffy, and which I like own Grudges 1, 2, and 3. So, and also as a fan of Japanese horror films, I had to go back and watch the original.
So it sounds like you enjoy them at least.
I do.
Okay,
I do. Yeah.
Good. For people that don't know, me and Kaylee disagree on many things, many movies. This one, I'm not going to fight you on because there were good parts of the film for sure. Do you think it deserved to just be remade? Basically, it says like there's in the trailer, it says there's like a twist to it a little bit. But do you think it needed to be remade?
It probably didn't need to be remade. There's a lot of remakes these days.
There's a crap ton of remakes.
And, the younger generations love scary movies. So if we can remake these older scary movies and introduce them to the new generations, they're going to drag out more money for the future with...
That's true. I mean, that's definitely true. But I feel like Grudge is a little bit different than the modern day horror film that's been coming out over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Was the first Grudge rated R or was it PG-13?
No, I think it was rated R.
Yeah.
Rated R.
I think the sequel was PG-13.
I think that's the start of the craze when horror directors and the studios were like, kids love our movies. Like, we should absolutely start cutting back and making sure that they can get in there and watch it. For movies like The Count. Kaylee, you watched The Countdown this week, didn't you?
I did watch The Countdown.
How was it?
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
That's wow, that's the greatest thing anybody's said about it so far.
Yeah.
That's really good.
It was pretty creepy. There was a few scenes where I'm like, I'm not going to watch this because I know it's going to make me jump.
Is it actually a creature or is it just like a spooky ghost?
It's a demon creature thingy that's kind of like death, but
like the Grim Reaper, I kind of.
yeah, but it's like I forgot the name of the demon itself, but they put
Was it Mr. Boogie?
no.
Damn it.
But it's like putting, ancient evil into technology of today, because there's literally like them hacking the code of an app and seeing Latin in the coding of it, and yeah,
Ghosts these days, even they are well educated. They go to their ghost schools, kind of like Monsters University, but it's for spirits.
I still need to see that one.
You've
I'm
never
sorry.
watched Monsters University?
I've seen the other two. I need to see that one.
What is the other one? There's only the first
Oh,
one.
see?
Maybe you saw those both then.
I was like, what?
No, I don't think I've seen one. I'm getting confused.
There is a Monsters University TV show coming out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on Disney Plus. I'm really excited about
Cute.
it. Yeah, it's just their day-to-day work days. It's really fun, actually. Back to the topic. I got so sidetracked by the fact that I didn't. I'm bummed that you didn't watch that.
John
movie.
Cho is in it.
John Cho is in it. Thanks, Kaylee. John Cho and nobody else.
Damien Bashir.
That's a made-up name.
I looked up the actresses, and I've seen them in things. I just can't remember their names right now.
Yeah. For what it's worth, it's good to see. It's good to see Sam Raimi back producing horror. We've talked about Sam Raimi a lot over the last couple of weeks with the horror films we've been talking about. And but yeah, he loves houses. Like he loves spooky houses and the shit that runs rampant in them. And yeah, it should be fun. Now we're just gonna go to a fun question. Was there any part of the trailer that was like new for you? Like you're like, this is different than the original Grudge, or was it ABC cutout almost? Which is what I kind of felt, to be honest.
It just kind of felt like a run of the mill. Kind of like, oh, it's a horror movie, but it really didn't grab me in like any way whatsoever.
Yeah, Kaylee, was there anything that like seemed fresh from the first one? Because like it did say that there was like a twist of like something, but it very much seemed like a shot for shot
They
remake.
left the trailer very vague.
Yeah.
A lot of it did seem like the same from the other Grudge films.
Which would make sense if it's the same movie, but
especially the ending clip of him taking a shower with the hand in his hair. That's exactly what happened to Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, that's spooky stuff.
And so, but I'm hoping like if they release another trailer, it shows more.
What was that movie he was in recently? Was it called Searching? Did you watch that one?
I did not watch that. I
heard
did
it was
watch.
a bummer. I heard it was
I watched the last
really good.
5 minutes of it.
Well, that's nice. That's cool. Was it a good 5 minutes? Don't ruin the end.
I think so.
You think so? I guess
Yeah.
you don't have the context.
I'm
to
more
know.
excited for him doing the live action Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah, he just broke his leg though.
Yeah.
He got like pushed off for like
8 months
or something like that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's kind of like when Dylan O'Brien on the Maze Runner like
Oh, yeah.
fell off the back of a truck and like broke his skull,
Yeah.
and they had to push off the Maze Runner's like last movie for like.
It didn't help.
I mean, it didn't help that the movie was going down a little bit in popularity.
Yeah.
The Maze Runner movies came out at the tail end, and it was in a tailspin of the young adult novel movies.
What was that other one that did?
Divergent.
Yeah, that was...
Divergent literally didn't even get its last movie.
Yeah, that just...
It didn't get its last movie, and it's a bummer, because I actually read the first book, and I was like, wow, this is really actually kind of original. It's really nice. But the rest of the books were garbage. And I don't want to ruffle any feathers there, but I don't think anybody cares anymore about Divergent. When it comes to these franchises, what's your favorite drawn-out franchise that was kind of heading for the bottom, but that kept going and going and going? What is your favorite one? It's like the Final Destinations, the Saws, the Halloweens, stuff like that. You could form your answer in any way that you like, with whatever context you like. One of my favorites was, even though they got kind of weird towards the end, were the Final Destination movies.
Yeah.
Number one, number two, they were fun. They were just new. They were awesome, and they kept going. Yeah, it started to decline a little bit, but I still had fun. It doesn't matter. Like 3, 4, and 5, they were fun. They were fun movies, and I had a good time. What do you have any favorite horror franchise that some people may like not like the last few ones, but
Horror franchise?
yeah.
If we're specific...
It doesn't have. It could be whatever you like. Just
In terms of, like, we'll say, like, horror slashers, I... Like, because I do love them all dearly, but my personal favorite is Freddy Krueger, and his sequels get crazy.
oh man, they go out of this world.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Where'd you go, Wes?
Yeah.
Rip.
Yeah, his last good one was the one he did, which was Wes Craven's New Nightmare from 1994.
I just like, we talked about Scream a few weeks ago, and like that one line, I saw a trivia that Wes Craven, when he was making that, threw it in there. Drew Barrymore says, all the rest of the movies after 2 were garbage.
Yeah.
Or they were shitty or something like that.
Yeah,
And it's because he
exactly.
directed the first 2. Kaylee, do you have any franchises that some people might have just started getting like, kind of like with Terminator, kind of fatigued, and it went downward in popularity, but you thought it was still pretty cool? Resident Evil is another one.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy it. I think
I own the complete series of Resident Evil. I love that series, and I did watch all of the Saw movies. The most recent one, I do agree, was terrible. They should have just...
Jigsaw?
Yeah, Jigsaw was really bad. I didn't like
was
that
not
one.
very good.
The last one before that I thought was good because it tied up everything.
They should have left it like that.
Yeah.
And they did for almost a decade.
And I'm like one of those people where, because I grew up with certain movies, I just have to watch the movies if they come out. I don't necessarily end up liking them or hating them, but like Hellraiser was one I grew up with a lot, who used to scare the crap out of me. Paranormal Activity, I don't know why I watched all of those.
I don't know either. Did you watch The Dark Dimension or whatever it was that came out like last year?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, you're not a fan.
Tremors?
Nobody saw. Did you see the new Tremors?
No, I still need to see it, but that's
I know
another
you
one I
don't.
grew up with. But
Love Tremors.
Christina walked in the room the other day. Oh, what? I can't talk. She walked in the other day and she's like, "Oh, is that the old Tremors?" I'm like, "No, it just came out last year." She's like, "What the fuck?"
I still need to watch it.
Why are they doing that? It's like when they made it was like a Fathom event that came out a couple years ago. The Starship Troopers.
Oh, that was another one I grew
I
up
was
with
just like,
watching.
all right, well, I guess you got to watch it, but why? Like, what?
Yeah.
What was the point of you doing this?
Did you ever watch the Tremors TV show?
No, I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, it didn't last long. It was with Bert. What's his name? The
Bert
dude with
Detective.
all the guy that had all the guns and weapons and
He was like Kevin Bacon's
okay.
like
yeah,
best friend.
He
and
was mostly in it. Yeah, I remember watching some of that.
Did you hear about the Tremors failed pilot that was supposed to come out
No.
2 years? So there was like a pilot that actually brought Kevin Bacon back, and then they never aired it. And I was so
Kevin
mad.
Bacon.
I was like, you guys suck.
But I guess if you also consider sci-fi ones horror, like
Yeah,
Aliens,
I would say
Alien
you
versus
could do that for
Predators.
sure.
There you go.
Even the Prometheus movies.
What the Underworld movie? You enjoy those?
With Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale.
Hell yeah.
I
know the last one
was
wasn't that big, but I had to watch it because I grew up with all those and I loved it.
Yeah. I think I'm forgetting one, but ultimately, I think Final Destination for me is the one that's just like,
Yeah.
you can crap on it all you want.
Yeah.
I
They're
have
still
fun.
enjoyable.
I have fun. And Final Destination is a series and a franchise that changed lives. Not for the better, for the worse. You can't drive on a freeway.
Yes.
You literally can't drive on a freeway.
I'm scared
You
to drive with
can't-
loose water bottles in my freaking car now.
Yeah. Every time I walk down the street and I see a fire escape, which is never, it's just a fantasy that plays in my head, I get terrified that I'm going to slip, fall, and get impaled in my face.
Yeah.
Anytime that I'm in a near-death experience, I'm like, just take me now. Because I don't want to deal with this shit. I don't want to deal with the boogeyman coming.
Countdown has very much a feel of Final Destination in it too.
Okay. Is it like, but is it aware of it? Because I feel like Final Destination, it kind of knows what it's going for. And it kind of, yeah.
Well, yeah, because they have countdowns on their phone telling them up to the very second of when they're going to die.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody at the theater about that, actually. And they made that comparison also. Well, maybe I'll watch it. That's probably not going to happen, though. Too many movies coming out these days.
Yeah.
This next week, we have releases for Doctor Sleep, which I'm very excited about. Doctor Sleep.
Rebecca Ferguson's hot.
Rebecca's, is she? I'm joking, I know.
Yeah.
I know. She was great in that one, that
Greatest Showman.
that singing movie, right? That was good. What else is coming out this week?
The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse.
Last Christmas.
God, I wanna
Amelia
see
Clark's
that.
also another hot person.
Yeah, I'm not
You know
sure.
what? Henry Golding's hot for a guy, okay?
I'm not sure that Last Christmas is coming out this week, though. Katie.
Is it not?
I think it's coming out.
It said
in
it
like
comes out
3
on the
weeks.
8th.
Does it?
Yeah, it's one of the mini posters I put up.
Strange. Well, I'm glad you know because I don't.
Playing with Fire.
Playing with Fire is another one. That's
And then
coming
there was like
out.
one.
Might be a little
more.
sensitive topic
I
with
know,
after
I
all the
know.
fires.
Midway. That was
Midway.
it.
That's it. The one with the generic looking.
Woody Harrelson with hair.
Character. He does have hair.
It looks, it's weird.
Every time I look at the characters on that
Poster.
Maybe more.
I'm like, wow, you look like a generic Tom Cruise. You look like a generic Dennis Quaid, but it is Dennis Quaid.
There's a lot
Dennis
of people in that. I found out recently it's directed by Roland Emmerich, and I'm like,
I was
like, okay.
I was trying to tell Kaylee that yesterday, and I'm like, it's Roman Emmerich. Roman Emmerich.
oh, you
Like,
combined.
who are you talking?
was like-
Roland Emmerich.
I was like, are you saying Roman, like the dude that got banned from America? Or who?
That's Polanski. No,
No.
the guy who did Independence Day and all those other explosion.
And the other
movies.
new Independence Day that wasn't as good.
Yeah, and-
2012.
I don't want to talk about 2012. I paid money for that.
Okay, The Day After Tomorrow.
Oh, that was also a bad movie.
Stargate.
Oh, that was fine.
There
Stargate
we
was
go.
good.
I love Stargate.
I'm a huge fan of the Stargate franchise.
There you go.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if it it's a busy weekend or not. But we got Frozen coming out at the end of the month. There's another one coming out in between too. I just can't remember it. And then Star Wars comes eventually. So it will all come for us in the night. Anyway, so Chelsea, I think we're gonna call it a night today. Kind of, not really, but Chelsea, where can we find you? Are you doing anything fun that people should know about?
I am taking art requests off my coffee account, and that's spelled KO-IF at oceluna.com. That's OCELUNA. And that's where I'm pretty much doing these last couple of months.
That sounds like fun. The this artwork is revolutionary, and you should all check it out. That's for sure. Kaylee, you're a popular person. What are you up to these days? Where can people find you? Got your social tags or anything?
Oh.
Put that out there.
I'm on Twitter a lot.
You're on Twitter.
Yeah.
What are your Twitter tags?
Bad Wolf Kaylee.
Bad Wolf Kaylee. You have that on the back of your car, don't you?
It is, well, Bad Wolf, it's from Doctor Who.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, Bad Wolf Kaylee is like my tag for everything.
That's so find Kaylee on everything at Bad Wolf Kaylee. You got any projects or anything coming out?
I'd eventually like to do my own podcast.
Yeah, well, we'll get you. You can have my office if you want. You see,
I'll
it's a
talk
pretty
about
good setup.
how to make things gayer in movies and TV shows.
Kaylee, let's talk about this Terminator movie.
Okay, yes.
Was it gay enough for you? Or were you hoping for it?
You know what? I don't need chicks making out for it to be gay to me, which, I don't mind that either. But
So you just need attractive women, is what you're saying.
yeah, I mean, there was definitely elements into it where I was like, wow, this is really gay. And but it ends up being something different. But
For people that don't know, Kaylee likes girls, and she can say the gay thing without people knowing. They may be a little concerned by why you think everything is so gay and why it matters.
you have to have like gay goggles on.
Kaylee always wears the gay goggles. Anyway, so that's going to be it for tonight. And we also just launched our YouTube channel on Maybe It's a Network. So go on to YouTube and check out Maybe It's Network. And you can find all of our Aftertaste content on there now. And we just put out requests to Google Play. So Google Play might be carrying our content soon to go along with Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can find me at Barno_922 on Twitter. Or you can find us on the Facebook page, Aftertaste. Just look that up. And Maybe It's a Network on Twitter. Maybe It's a Network. Maybe It's a Network. Network spelled NETWRK because I don't know. Okay. And that's going to be it for the night. All right. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and we will have a review out on Wednesday. I said that last week, and it didn't happen, so hopefully it'll come in this week. Maybe I'll watch Terminator. That's a good movie, right? I'm not going to watch Town. Anyway, that's it. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.